Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Edison Padwal, and this morning I will be reporting the topic about the animal parts and their function. So, animals have different body parts. Each body part has its unique function. Their body parts enable them to move, eat, breathe, and even defend themselves. So, hindi nga mga animals is may mga different parts and ito mga parts is may different functions. Iton nga mga parts nga nag-function is enable them to move, to eat, to breathe, and to defend themselves. So, for example, may natin mga hayop nga may horned, like horned animals. Mga example yung mga horned animals are goat, sheep, and carabao. So, many animals have hard structures called horns growing from their head. So, karamihan hit mga hayop is may mga sungay just like goat, sheep, just like what I mentioned kanina. Nga, ito nga sungay natubo dili ira agtang and matigat hiya nga pwede magsagang hit ira kalagaringon and also to break some trees. Horned animals may mga sungay nga mga animals just like goat. Ito gamit ira horn nga ira sungay is ginagamit ng ira hit. Kung baga may nga nira kaaway is dinidefend nira itong ira ginagamit nira itong pagdepensa sa ira kalugaringon. And para naman hit iba nga hayop nga may mga sungay, ginagamit liwat ito nira para pag-break trees para makakuha ng pagkaon. Some of the animals like tigers do not have horns but have tails. So may mga hayop nga mga animals, kuan waray sungay pero may nira tails, and these tails used to keep away from insect as it gamit. And may liwat mga hayop like monkey nga it gamit it ira tail is to balance their bodies and also to make them move, just like grabbing branches to keep from falling as gamit it monkey it ira ikog. There are also some animals that have wings. So may daliwat mga hayop nga may pakpak waray ikog pero may pakpak waray sungay pero may pakpak para na nahit butterfly and birds. So eating a wing is a part of animals that allows it to fly, a part of their body, and functioning that is to fly. Let us talk about the animals with beaks. So, the beak is used for eating, fighting, building nests, and many other things. Example ng mga animals na may mga beaks, tuka ba, is woodpecker, parrot, bird, duck, and chicken. So, di ba nakikita ninyo iton mga tamsi, itira gamit iton ira tuka is pag karon nila magsalag, itira babad ira ginagamit pagguhit mga bermuda naghihimirat salag, and also ito nga ira to ka ginagamit niya rin pagtutubong ira mga mga anak. Nakita na kamo ito niya mga bird niya nagtutubong mga ulo nila ira anak, and nga naman ira anak using it ira pagtubong using their beaks. So asad gamit it ira mga tuka, and asad dun mga animals nga may beaks. And that is all for my report. Thank you. Hello everyone, good morning. So this morning I'm about to discuss about the importance of plants. So do you have plants in your home or garden? So you know what is the importance of plants. So let us talk about how plants help us. So, without plants, there would be no food. All carbon and protein, fats, and carbohydrates is derived from photosynthesis in plants. So, plants is important kay because kapag mawaray na natin plants, mawaray natin shelter, mawaray natin pagkaon, and also mawaray natin air. So, ito ni kauna-unahan liwat na importantihin plants. So, ano pa importansya hit plants sa aton? So plants provide us with food, fiber, shelter, medicine, and fuel. So asa na mention kanina nga, it nga plants nagpo-provide aton hin shelter and food. So it atong kinakaon nagagaling luwat ha plants. It aton shelter. Without the plants, we cannot build buildings and houses. And there will be no medicine. So, di ba ginagamit natin it plants as a medicine? Pero naman nahit ka malonggay and other herbals nga ginagamit natin. So, plants ito niya. So, plants are good source of wood and fiber. Plants provide us with many of the ingredients used to make our medicine. So, it plants mo pa iluwat yung source is paghihimuhin hit balay, buildings, kay mo pa hiya nga nagsusupplyhin woods. And plants, mo pa maluwat hiya nga nga gamit hit paghihimon mga medicine, hinihimo yung ingredients like may liwat medicine niya na nga kapag binabato ka asa din iniinom like gilagundi or it's either pwede maluwat ka malunggay. So dako buli ka aton it plants. So we need to take care of our plants, take care of our green planet. Dako buli ka aton it aton plants. So also plants give us oxygen. That oxygen is in the air we breathe and all human being need it. Many plants are good to eat like vegetables, fruits, beans, and seeds. So, ito nira is come from plant. And nakakaon natin like vegetables and fruits. Di ba nakakaon kitahin mga papaya and many more like mangoes. So, galing tira have plants. So, trees are the largest plants in the summer. Trees are full of leaves. The trees make shadows on a hot sunny day. You will stay cool in this shade. So, it mga plants liwat like puno nga dagko is nagagamitan liwat naton kapag orasin nagbabaktas kita para maamon una hinagbabaktas kami pangantuhan amon eskwelahan. Kapag pinapasoon kami, nasirong kami anay nidahan dagko nga puno para igkulan namon mga sarili mapahangin ba para maiwasan ang kamapasto o rumihin nagsasunblock o rumihin nagamit kahin pampabeauty kinahanglan mo gumamitin anti-serum. And also plants give shelter to the animals like birds, insects, and many other animals live in trees. So di lang ngayon inya plants dakot na hibubulig aton as a human being. So patiluwat ha mga hayop nga na o kayluwat ha puno. Dakot era beneficial watin nakukuha plants. So that is why plants is very much important. So take care of our green planets and take care of our plants. Be your environmentalist. Plants give shelter not only to us as a human being but also to the animals like birds, insects, and many other animals that lives in trees. So diri lahi hira nakabenepisyo hit mga puno. Damo hira mga animals na naukoy di dahil puno like birds and monkeys na naukoy naman talaga puno. So dako benepisyo na hipupuli ka ato ni plants. And without plants, we cannot live in this world. So that is why the plants is very much important. So love our plants, love our green planet. Thank you.
Once again, good morning. I am Mary J. Pasquito and I will be the one who will discuss the parts of a plant and on how to take care of it. But before we proceed to our discussion, let's define first what is a plant. So plant is a living organism of the kind exemplified by trees, shrubs, herbs, grasses, ferns, and mosses. It is typically growing in a permanent site, absorbing water and inorganic substances through its roots and is synthesizing nutrients in its leaves by photosynthesis using the green pigment chlorophyll. The common plants that we can see around us are seed plants. These plants have roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. Roots anchor the plant to the ground. These also absorb water and minerals from the soil. Plants either have taproot systems or a fibrous root systems. When we say taproot systems, it means that the root is anchored the plants firmly on the ground, while the fibrous roots spread out near the soil surface, covering it a good control for soil erosion. Some roots grow above the ground such as prop roots in corn, pandan, and some mangrove trees. These roots eventually touch the ground for support. Stems support the leaves, flowers, and fruits. These also transport food, minerals, and water to other parts of the plant. Some stems are woody, while others are herbaceous or soft. Most stems are green or brown. Stems are generally above the group, except some underground stems like rhizome, tuber, and bulb. Squash and ampalaya are vines that have tendrils to support the climbing stems. Strawberry, sweet potato, and Bermuda grass have stems that grow along the soil surface for fast reproduction over a wide area. Leaves are generally green, expanded, and attached to a stem by a petiole. A simple leaf has a stalk, base, margin, and tip. It has veins that may run parallel to the midrib or knitted. Leaves have different shapes, size, and arrangement on the stem and may have other colors such as violet, yellow, red, orange, and pink. The margin of the blade may be smooth, divided, or looped. Some are compound leaves such as grape, bean, malunggay, nara, and etc. The main function of the leaf is to produce food. The process is known as photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, plants take up carbon dioxide and water to produce glucose, a kind of sugar. Light is needed for the process to occur. Oxygen is given off that animals inhale. Leaves have special function such as reproduction, protection, and support. Leaves are sources of vegetables and could also be medicinal. Flowers, fruits, and seeds are characteristic features of flowering plants. Flowers are mainly for plant reproduction. Flowers are attached to the stem by a pedicel. The sepal is the outermost part of a flower. The second layer are the petals. These are accessory parts. The reproductive parts of the flower are the stamen or male and the pistil or female. Some flowers have no sepals. These are incomplete flowers. Papaya has female flowers in one plant and male flowers in another plant. Squash has female flowers and male flowers in the same stem. Flowers bloom on certain seasons, while other blooms throughout the year. When nara trees are in bloom, the flowers scatter on the ground and pollen grains make some of us sneeze. Fruits come from flowers. Some are fleshy or dry. The fruit may have a hard external covering just like coconuts or very thin skin as in tomato. The middle layer of a fruit could be fleshy as in papaya, and the seeds are attached on the inner wall of the fruit. Plants both indoors and out are lovely additionals to any decor. Proper garden care can increase the quality and longevity of your plants and fruits. If you want your outer crops and beautiful flowers to withstand the seasons, it's important to learn the right way to take care of your plant. And now, I will tell you some tips on how to take care of it. First, give your plants plenty of light. The primary concerns for house plants is making sure they get enough light. Plants that need full sunlight should be placed somewhere that gets 4 to 6 hours of direct light per day. Keep in mind that windows facing the south side of your house will receive the most light, while windows facing the north side will receive the least amount of light. Second, water your plants regularly. Getting the proper balance of water for houseplants can be tricky. Too much water on the roots will start to rot because of poor drainage, and too little water and they will dry out. Always use warm water for your plants as cold water can shock the roots and cause damage to the plant. Third, fertilize your plants every few weeks. Fertilizer is a soil additive that supplies plants with nutrients. It is particularly important to fertilize indoor plants every 2 to 3 weeks because there is no organic matter being added to the soil naturally like there would be outdoors. And fourth, whether the heater or the air conditioner is the one working, the constant airflow will dry out the leaves of plants and cause them to die off. Importance of animals to humans. Some animals are sources of food. Animals help us in obtaining food. Animals like cows and goats gives us milk. The meat of some animals is eaten, like pig, chicken, cow, fish, and goat. Chicken meat and eggs can be eaten. A cow produces milk that helps strengthen our bone. The milk of cows can also be made into cheese and other dairy products. Transportation. Some animals are used for carrying people or goods from one place to another. Example of these are horses and carabaos. Kalisa or carriage was once popular in the Philippines. The kalisa is pulled by a horse driven by a cochero or a kalisa driver. On the other hand, carabaos also provides transportation. They also helps farmers row rice fields. For safety and recreation, animals are trained for security purposes. They aid security personnel in public places like malls, hospitals, and airports. They help detect illegal drugs and explosive through sniffing. These are examples of best guard dogs. Some are kept as pets, like dogs and cats. Those two are the most common animals that we keep as a pet. Source of wool and silk. Wool are obtained from the fur of animal like sheep and goat and is used to make wool clothes and jackets. Source of leather. Leather is a thing from the skin of animals like cows and crocodiles. Some bags and shoes are also made from the skin of snake. Source of honey and wax. Do you have any idea what is the source of honey and wax? Very good. These are bees. Honey is obtained from the beehives made by honeybees. Honeybees also make wax, which is used for making candles, and honey is also used as medicine. Source of fertilizer. Animals like carabaos and cow's manure are used to maintain the fertility of the soil. These are used in making organic fertilizer. So let us now proceed to taking care of animals. When we look around, we see many animals and birds. It is our duty to take care of these animals and birds because they contribute a lot to our environment. Animals provide us with a variety of things, such as milk, milk products, egg, wool, silk, and leather. Animals like horses, camels, donkeys, and mules are used to carry people and things from one place to another. As a result, we should protect and save the animals. We get milk, meat, wool, and eggs from domestic animals. Animals like donkeys, bulls, horses, and camels are used as means of transport. Animals help to maintain the ecological balance in the environment. We can help the animals to live a peaceful life by the following ways. A. Domestic animals should be kept in proper shelters, like cows in shed, stables for horse, and coops for hen. They should also be provided with proper food. Care has to be taken for their hygiene. They should be bathed regularly.
Good day, everyone. I am Maria Verna Sevilla, and I will be your reporter for this topic. Let's start. Plant and animals' land habitats. Every living animals and plants need a place to live and a place to call home. Different animals and plants live in different places, so animals and plants' home is called habitats. A habitat is where an animals find the food, water, and shelter it needs to live. Animals and plants that live on land, they are referred to as land or terrestrial animals. The structure of animals enable them to live on particular places. A typical plant has roots, stem, and leaves. Roots anchor the plants to the ground as well as absorb water that is needed for growth. Plants and animals need water and foods, like how people used to. Here are the different land habitats. For example, number 1. Rainforest habitats. A rainforest has warm weather year-round. A rainforest has millions of plants and animals. Example of an animals that live in a rainforest, like snake, bird, or a tiger. Here are also the tropical rainforest plants, like flowering. Flowering had orchids, water lily, and etc. And they're also fruit-bearing. Fruit-bearing with durian, mountain soursop, banana tree, and cocoa tree. Next is the forest habitat. A forest is an environment that gets enough rain and warm temperature for lots of trees to grow. Here are examples of a forest animal like koala, panda, lion, kangaroo, and giraffe. Also lizard and snakes. Here are also plants that grow in the forest. Next, tundra habitats. A tundra habitat is an environment that is very cold and windy. It is the treeless and area. Here are the examples of an animals and plants that live in tundra. Animals like polar bear, Arctic fox, and Arctic hare. And plants like moss, lichens, low-growing scrubs, and grasses. And desert is a very warm place. There are air very hot and dry. Here are also the example of an animals and plant that live in the desert. Animals that live in the desert. Animals like turkey vulture, coyote, desert tortoise, long-nosed bat, and a rattlesnake. And plant like crochet bush, pickle pear cactus, yucca, and saguaro cactus, and etc. And that's all for my topic. Thank you for listening.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sarah Grace S. Kabugawan, and my topic for this lesson was all about aquatic plants and animals in their habitats. Aquatic habitat means an area where water is present and provides direct support for a given species, population, or community. Aquatic animals such as fishes, clams, starfish, squid, sharks, and tilapia live in water. They have different body coverings such as scale, shell, and skin. Water animals also have various sizes, colors, and shapes. Mussels are attached on a rock, while clams have shells and protect the inside soft body from strong waves. These are the examples of water animals. We have fish, sea turtle, lobster, starfish, octopus, jellyfish, dolphin, and shark. When we say aquatic plants, these plants have no vascular tissues to transport water to plants' body parts, hence the need to live in water. For example, water lily has wide leaves that stay on the water surface for greater exposure to sunlight, needed to produce food, but those have roots that anchor the plant. Water hyacinth has porous leaf stalks that enable the plant to float, and roots to submerge. These are the examples of aquatic plants. Freshwater habitats and marine or saltwater habitats are some of the habitat of aquatic plants and animals. Example of freshwater habitats are lakes, river, and ponds. What is freshwater? Freshwater has a low salt concentration, usually less than 1%. Plants and animals in freshwater regions are adjusted to low salt content and would not be able to survive in areas of high salt concentration. There are many plants such as bushes and trees along the banks as well as water plants. Many animals use these plants for food or shelter. Next is we have saltwater or marine ecosystem habitats, such as seas and oceans. Marine ecosystem is the largest among the Earth's aquatic ecosystem. As 71% of Earth's surface is covered by water, and oceans occupy 97% of water on Earth. Marine habitats include oceans and seas, which both have salt water. That's all for my part. Thank you for listening and have a good day.
Good morning. My name is Shari Biasong, reporting the animals that live in water. So, example hit mga animals nga naokoy hit katubigan is fish, shrimp, octopus, seahorse, stingray, jellyfish, dolphin, whale, starfish, frog, lobster, and shark. Dito nga hit mga naokoy hatubig may da nga init adaptation. And asya tinatawag harang adaptation kay may da nira kakayahan nga kakayahan magkuan dito underwater nga example nila sea uttersis slag barracudas kay may nira nga and oxygen, may nira sapat nga oxygen para makahinga dito underwater. So, anak sinisa rin ka nga nga an adaptation. Di ba may da ko an sea uters. May da nga niya power of lungs para makahinga hiya dito underwater para permihiya maging warm tapos dry. An ko naman wait ha. And the sea slug naman kay di ba gel like organ man hiya. Para daman hiya may niya carbon dioxide dito tiya. May carbon dioxide dito tiya body para ora-ora go diya nga makahingit water. Tapos an barracudas naman a slate body, a slender body, and strong tail fin, and skin that secret mucus. May da nga niya mucus tiya body. Asyala. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Menel Castillo from B811. Our topic for today is all about the reproductive structure of animals and plants. Before we start, my topic is all about the reproductive structure of animals. Did you know that the entire species of animals are divided into five types? We have the mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and insects. Animal reproductive structure. When we see animal reproductive structure, human beings are classified as mammals, along with goats, cows, dogs, cats, and mice. Mammals have external and internal sex organs. And also, mammal is a warm-blooded vertebrate animals of class that is distinguished by the position of hair or for the secretion of milk by females for nourishment of the young and typically the birth of live young. An animal is considered mammal if it can produce milk. Other features unique to mammals include hair or were chemically different from hair-like structures or non-mammals. The malleus and cos and stapes in the air, and a diaphragm separating heart and lungs from the abdomen. Recall that among the female and male human beings, external genitalia that scientists use to identify whether the newborn individual is a male or a female. This is also true for cow, dog, cat, and other mammals. External genitalia. Ito ay structure ng isang female reproductive system that external to the vagina. Andyan yung labia majora, mons pubis, and also the clitoris. There are similarities in the structure of other mammals that produce sex cells, such as the ovary and the testes. Internal fertilization of the egg by the sperm occurs when there is mating of the male and female individuals. Occurs inside the female uterus until young is born. Did you know that bats are the only flying mammal? While flying squirrel can only glide from short distances, bats are true flyers. Punta naman tayo sa mga ibon. Among birds, such as chicken, the male or rooster can be identified by the comb on its head and its prominent tail feathers. During mating, the male bird goes on the top of the female, facing the same direction. They have an entrance called cloaca. Cloaca, which they rub against each other. From the cloaca, the male sperm passes on the female ova, where it is fertilized. After fertilization, the egg comes out of the female cloaca. Now let's go to the reptiles. For example, snake and lizards have no external organs to help scientists identify male from female through exhibit variation in appearance. And now we will go to the fish. The female fish has paired ovaries that produce eggs that are released through the oviducts to the uterus or the body cavity. The male fish has paired the testes that produce the sperm. It worms are hermaphrodite. Ano nga ba ang hermaphrodite? Hermaphrodites are a type of sexual reproducing animal. These are animals that make both sperm and eggs but do not fertilize themselves. There would be no point if they did, because their offspring would be identical to them. So they swap sperm and eggs with other hermaphrodites to produce genetically different offspring. And now we will go to the insects. In insects, such as bees, the testes produce sperms in males, and the ovaries produce the eggs in females. Some animals do not have sexual organs for reproduction. In the case of Hydra, who learn to eat growing in fresh water, a new animal is produced by a bud from its main body, which eventually grow and separate from the parent body.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. My name is Joanne Luvidal from the Ed 11. We are proceed to our next topic, which is plant plant reproductive structure. Most plants that you see around have flowering, which are the six organs. Of these plants, among non-flowering plants like pine trees, an individual produce male and female cones. In ferns, the sperm from in the leaves germinate into heart-shaped plant that contain the six cells. Meiosis have spores that germinate to young most plants but grow into male and female that produce six cells. There are plant parts like leaf, stem, and roots that give to new plants. I have here six examples, which is hyacinth, sunflower, daisy, marigold, dahlia, and desert rose. Parts of the plant: flower. Flower help to reproduction. Leaves or leaf perform photosynthesis. Fruit protects the seeds. Stem support the plant. Root absorb the water minerals. Most plants that you see around have flower, which are the six organs. The of these plants, among non-flowering plants like pine trees and individual produce male and female cones. For example, if one pine trees ko no, pag pinag pag pinagsama na naton ang female reproductive line and male reproductive, which is ang cones, bale ikagagawasan iton non-flowering plants, which is an pine tree. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Christine Anka Andoy, and let's continue our topic about the plant reproductive structure. In ferns, the spores formed in the leaves germinate into heart-shaped plants that contain the six cells. Mosses have spores that germinate to young moss plants that grow into male or female that produce six cells. There are plant parts like leaves, stems, and roots that give rise to new plants. And we have the male and female. Male parts are collectively termed the stamen. Each stamen consists of the filament, the name given to the long stamen stalk, and the under a sac on the tip of the filament that is full of pollens. Grains, it is this grain that fertilize the female parts of the hibiscus flower, and the female parts are called collectively the pistil. The female equivalent of the filament is a hollow tube called the stele. The sticky lips that the top are termed that stigma, and their job is to catch and hold into pollen grains. The grains pass down the tube of the stele and lodge in the swollen base. The ovary, this is where the flower produces its eggs. If the eggs are fertilized, the pollen they develop into seeds that propagate the species. Thank you, everyone. That's the end of our discussions for today.
Good morning, everyone. I am Manilyn Debuta.
And I am Aileen Odan.
Our topic today is about the common characteristics of animals and plants for classification.
Good morning, everyone. Now, we are going to tackle about the common characteristics of plants and animals for classification. So, let's first discuss about the animal classification. There are millions of different species of animals in many places around the world. They differ in size, body covering, and other features. One way to classify animals is by body structure, presence of backbones. Animals with backbones are referred to as vertebrates, and those without are invertebrates. Vertebrates are bony in endoskeleton or backbone. Iton one way kuno naton nga makaklasify iton hayop kun may dahiya mga buto or backbone, isa't tinatawag nga vertebrates. Ang mga without naman backbone amo tinatawag nga invertebrates. Vertebrates may hira 5 major group amo iton hiya an mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, and fishes. Usan hi example han mammals, an ira characteristic is makadikitahan body covering. An mammals may hiya mga buhok iton hiya. May dahit niran nga mga buhok hapanit. An birds naman may dahiya feather. Amo dun nga mga barahibo. In reptiles naman may dahiya scales. An amphibians naman may dahiya skin. Tapos an fish naman may dahiya mga scale. An iya binagamit nirahan paghinga han mammals ngan birds ngan reptiles is lungs. Ngadi naman ang amphibians naman kung guti pa nira ginagamit is gills, ithasang. Itong pagdako naman nihan amphibians is lungs na nira ginagamit ang paghinga. Ang fish naman, simpre ang nira ginagamit ang paghinga is it nga irahasang, it nga hanit din hiton isda. Tapos an ira hiton an kuan naman an mammals is an ira characteristic is warm or cold-blooded. Iton hirat nga warm iton hira. Iton mammals rather, birds, warm iton hira. Tapos an kuan naman an ira inuukyan naman hadi nga reptiles, amphibians, fishes adhirahan cold. An ira reproduction hini, an mammals is nagigi-give birth, iton nga nanganganak kanila. While an birds naman naglilihirahan eggs that hatch outside the body. It nga mga nagbubunay anay. Iton reptile naman mostly naglilihirahan egg. An amphibian naman lay eggs that hatch. Tas pagka din naman ng fish mostly naglilihirahan egg. An ira inuukyan naman han mammals mostly on land. Tapos pagka din naman ha bird, adaghapiyahan land, mga birds. Ang reptiles naman, it's either land and water. Parang kapitan amphibians, land and water gihapon. Pagka diliwatan fish, natural, adiraha, water. An example sini nga mammals, human, horse, tarsier, and monkey, and damo pa nga mga mammals. Pagka din naman ang bird, siyempre damo mara makita nangingilan na makita mga hayop, parrot, dove, peacock, and nagdak, and many more. Pagka din naman na reptiles, and snake, iguana, alligator, tortoise, and many more. Nga din naman kita ang amphibians, ang toad, ang frog, ang salamander. Amo tarit na example hiton, amphibians. Nga din naman ang fish, shark, koi, and catfish, stingray. Amo tiraan, maeksampulhan mga fish, nga mga damo pa. Take note, warm-blooded animals have internally controlled body temperature, while cold-blooded animals have body temperature that change with environment. So, nga din, let's move on naman nga di kita hiton groups han invertebrates. Amot hiyaan, an iya sponge. An iya body covering is porous body. Unique feature of body, sessile or attached to rocks. Body is loosely organized. Iton hiya nga mga nandidikit iton mga bato-bato. Amo iton hiya iton sponge. Na anira iton hinuok yan, syempre tubig. An example niya an bat sponge, Venus flower basket. Amo tiyan is example. Nga di naman kita ni dahang colenterets an mahumok iton hiya nga mga hayop. Softkin, stony corals produce outer covering of limestone. Body has radial symmetry with stinging cells and tentacles. One body opening. Some are attached to the substratum. Nauko iton hiraha water. Example iton hiya an jellyfish. Iton nga ni nga bukya asa iton hiya iton example. Nga di naman kita flatworms. An ira iton body covering is skin. Flat bodies to body segment. Iton hiya nga tipworm nga ni iton hirat nga ira iton inuok yan it nga water or parasite. Iton nga ni nga mga ulod nga it nga pag nadudunot na iton usa nga animals it nga ada nga mga ulod iton nga mga sakubit mga lawas kung nadudunot na. Amo iton tinatawag nga flatworms. Nga di naman kitahan roundworms. Skin gihap iton hiya itiyak body covering. An segmented round body it nga nagsisiring-siring iton nga round body. Water ira iton yan water parasite liwat. It asa ton hirait nga adalaw sa ito mga dunot nga mga kuan or soil. Example niya iton pinworms. Nga di naman kitahan segmented worm. Ani iton body covering is skin. It nga soft body liwat hiya ani tinuok yan ang mga maghulos nga mga tuna nganan or water. Iton nga nit example hiton it earthworm it nga wati. Amo tin example hiton segment worm. Nga din naman kitahan mollusk. Some it nga and iya covering naman some with hard shell. It nga ada nga ni hiton sakubit snail. Amo tiya tinatawag nga mollusk. Soft body ada iya tinuok yan water or land. And the example niya is snail, clam, slug or scallop. Nga din naman kitahan arthropods. Aniya hiton itiya body covering is exoskeleton. Body is divided into three segments with paired legs and that vary in number. Aniya tinuok yan it's either land or water and air. Example iton niya iton nga shrimp it nga mga damo iton mga kamot asa iton tiya sinisiri nga arthropods. Example pat niya it nga ulalahipan, mga crabs, spider, bee, ant and beetle, scorpion. Iton nga damo pat nga mga basta it nga mga damo iton mga kamot asa iton tiya sinatawag nga arthropods. And lastly is echinoderms. Itiya hiton an iya ka body covering is exoskeleton. Tapos ito iya naman inuok yan is water, natural water. Iton hiya nga and iya hiton unique features of the body is body with radial symmetry moved by means of tube feet. Iton kumpit nga mga bugos ba iton iya mga siki. Example ito niya is sea star. Ito namang starfish, sea cucumber. Asa iton hiya iton. Example iton echinoderms. That's all in my part. Thank you.
Now let's move on to plant classification. Plants have two general groups, the vascular plants and non-vascular plants. Vascular plants have tube-like structures involved in the transport of water and nutrients in the plant body, while non-vascular plants have no well-developed transport parts. There are other characteristics of sorting plants. First, with flowers or without. Second, it can be spore-bearing or seed-bearing. Third, the habitat where they grow. And fourth, plant habit, And of course, the fifth is the need for water. Flowering plant classified according to the number of cotyledons, leaf venation, number of flower parts, arrangement of vascular tissues, and type of root system. We have here the basic information of plant groups. First is the non-vascular plants or bryophytes. Non-vascular plants are plants without a vascular system consisting of xylem and phloem. Instead, they mainly possess simpler tissues that have specialized functions for the internal transport of water. These plants are very short because they cannot have nutrients and water up as steam. Also, non-vascular plants means lacking blood vessels. They are mostly found in damp and moist areas. While vascular plants, also called tracheophytes, form a large groups of land plants that have lignified tissues for conducting water and minerals throughout the plants. They also have a specialized non-lignified tissue to conduct products of photosynthesis. Vascular plants has the main groups. First is the fern and alleys. Fern and alleys are a diverse group of seedless vascular plants that are not true ferns. Like ferns, a fern alley disperses by shedding spores to initiate an alternation of generations. Example is the tree ferns and club moss. Next are gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are a relatively small groups of plants that do not flower and bear naked seeds. This means that the seed are reproduced or produced on the surface of the reproductive structure rather than enclosed within it as in a fruit. Example is the cycad and ginkgo. The third one is the angiosperm monocots. Angiosperm monocots are the plants that are marked by seed with a single cotyledon, parallel vein leaves, scattered vascular bundles in the stem, the absence of the typical combium, and an adventitious root system. Also, monocot can be identified by their flower parts. The flower parts on a monocot plants came in the multiples of 3. Examples are the banana and pineapple. The last main groups of vascular plants are angiosperm dicots. The angiosperm dicots are one of the two groups into which all of the following plants were formerly divided. The name refers to one of the typical characteristics of the groups, namely that the seed has two embryonic leaves or cotyledons, natal leaf veins, flower parts in multiple of 5, vascular tissue arranged in circular in the stem, and taproot system. Example of the angiosperm dicots are squash and sunflowers.